For the last couple of years, the whole conversation around AI and business has been about one thing, the tech, right? The models, the tools, the pilots. But what if I told you the real competitive edge has already moved on? There's this super clear signal emerging from the world's top research firms, and honestly, is changing the entire game.
And boom, this quote just gets right to the heart of it. The race has fundamentally changed. It is no longer about just having the fanciest AI. It's about being an organization that's built for AI from the ground up.
So, let's frame this up. The old way of thinking was all about the models and tools, who has access to the latest and greatest tech. But the new focus, the one that's going to separate the winners from the losers, is all about the organization and the systems. See, it's a pivot from a technical problem to a management problem. And when you get that, that's when you see where the real gap is in today's AI race.
And that brings us right here to the real AI gap. It's not about the technology you can buy off the shelf anymore. Nope, it's about building a whole new operating model for your business, one where AI isn't just an accessory, it's the very core.
And look, this isn't just some theory I'm cooking up. We're talking Deloitte, Mercer, BCG, and Gartner. They're all pointing to the exact same conclusion. Enterprise AI has officially hit its organizational reconstruction phase. The race is on to see who can rewire their company the fastest.
So let's break down the first major signal we're seeing, this move from just adding tools to actually truly changing the system. This is all about getting past the what-if stage and into the how-to stage, moving from ambition to activation.
And this is such a brilliant way to think about it. For a while, we've treated AI like an external upgrade, like just buying a new app for an old computer. But an AI-native approach, that treats AI as the new operating system for the whole business. It's not an app you open, it's the core code that runs absolutely everything.
So the crucial point here is that leaders need to be asking a completely different set of questions. It's not just which tools should we use anymore. Now it's about which processes need to be totally remade from scratch, which roles need a complete redefinition, and is AI just tinkering around the edges, or is it plugged right into your main business flow?
Deloitte just puts it perfectly here. The real challenge now is to move boldly from ambition to activation. The time for endless pilots and little experiments is over. The real work is in the execution. It's about building the systems that make AI a scalable, repeatable part of how you get things done.
Okay, on to the second signal. And this one is all about people. We've got to shift our focus from just training employees on new tools to fundamentally redesigning the very nature of work itself. This is a big one.
What's so interesting here is the shift in design logic. Think about it. For decades, we've designed our companies around people completing tasks. But the new model? It designs the organization around people and AI collaborating to achieve results. That's a profound, fundamental change in management philosophy. This new model creates change on 3 different layers. First, job descriptions become way more dynamic, a mix of human-led and AI-executed tasks. Second, how we measure performance totally changes. It's not just about doing tasks anymore, it's about how well you manage the human-AI system you're a part of. And third, the goal isn't just to create a bunch of AI users, it's to develop managers who can actually design these new collaborative systems.
And if you're wondering whether any of this really matters, well, just think about it from a financial perspective. What do you think investors, the people with the money, are looking for in this new era?
Well, here's your answer, 72%. According to Mercer, a staggering 72% of investors believe that mastering this human-AI collaboration is the key to competitive advantage. So yeah, the market is placing its bets on organizational design, not just on who has the best tech.
Okay, let's move to our third and final signal, governance. Because as AI gets deeper and deeper into our operations, we need a way more sophisticated approach to managing it. We have to move from these clunky, uniform rules to a much more nuanced, tiered risk management system.
The old way of doing things was this one-size-fits-all approval process for any AI project. It was slow, it was rigid, it was a bottleneck. But BCG points out that the new, mature model is flexible, and it's tiered by risk. You don't put a low-risk marketing campaign through the same insane approval process as a high-stakes automated financial decision. That just makes sense, right?
A mature governance model like this answers the really tough questions. This isn't just about compliance, it's about operational clarity. Who actually has the authority to integrate AI? Who defines the boundaries?
And maybe most important of all, who is ultimately responsible when an AI-driven system makes a call?
And this isn't just a tech or a risk issue. At its core, it's a people issue. A recent Gartner survey shows that 78%, almost 8 out of 10, chief human resources officers agree workflows and roles have to change to get real value from AI. It's all connected. It's all part of the same big organizational puzzle.
Okay, so we've seen the 3 big signals. The question is, how do we turn all this into a coherent strategy? Let's try and distill this down into some really actionable advice for leaders.
Underneath all these signals, there are really 3 deep trends driving this shift. First, AI is moving from being a co-pilot that helps us to being an agent that executes tasks for us. Second, our focus is shifting from simply training people to redefining the work itself. And third, governance is no longer just a technical problem, it's a core management challenge.
So what does this all mean for you? The crucial takeaway is this. First, you've got to focus on the speed of your organizational redesign. That's the real race now. Second, you have to empower your middle managers. They are the critical layer, the ones who have to design and implement all these new human-AI workflows. And finally, you have to stop thinking of AI as a series of projects. Start thinking of it as your company's new operating system.
The takeaway here is crystal clear. The real inflection point for AI in business has arrived. And it's not measured by how many people are using it anymore, it's measured by the depth of organizational integration. The future belongs to those who don't just use AI, but who rebuild their entire organization around it. And that leaves us with one final, critical question that you should be asking yourself and your teams. Are you simply adding a fresh coat of AI paint to your old organization, or are you using AI to rebuild it from the foundation up? Your answer to that question is going to define your future.